In this tutorial, I will show you how to find the p-value in a z-test. And in order for us to be able to find the p-value, we have to be provided with the test statistic. We have to know whether we have a left tail, right tail, or two-tail test. And we also have to know the distribution that is involved. In this case, it is z. So to find the p-value, we'll follow these 4 steps. First, we'll draw the probability density curve, then we'll draw the region according to the type of the test, then we'll label the areas and the test statistic, and then we'll compute the p-value. So let's get started. First, I'm going to sketch a quick probability density curve of the standard normal distribution that is also known as the z-curve. So this is what it looks like, and step 1 is pretty much complete. In step 2, we're going to draw the region according to the type of the test. In this case, we have a left tail test, so we will be highlighting the region in the left side of the distribution. And we're going to label this, the boundary of the region with our test statistics. So this is our Z0. Now, if your sketch is very accurate, then you can actually make it even more accurate by drawing your boundary right where the actual test statistic is, and that will be a more accurate visualization of the p-value. However, if you're just doing this on a piece of paper, then any region in the left side will be sufficient. Now we label the area, and the only area to label here is the area to the left of the test statistic, which is our p-value. So to compute the p-value, we essentially have to compute the probability of z being less than the test statistic, which is -2.6. So the area to the left of -2.6 is exactly our p-value. You can find this area using the z table. However, I'm just going to use StatCrunch here. You can also find this using any other alternative technology such as TI-83 or Excel. In this case, I'm just going to open the standard normal calculator, and I'm literally just going to copy this inequality in there. And this is my p-value. So we're ready to answer the question. We're going to round correctly to 3 decimal places, and we're done. So this is how you find the p-value in a left tail z-test. Now let's do another problem. Let's do the same problem, but for a right tail test. In this case, we have again provided the new test statistic, which is 0. So we're going to start by drawing the probability density curve, drawing the region according to the type of the test. The right tail test means we're going to be drawing the region on the right side. So this is our region, and we're going to be labeled the boundary of that region with our test statistic, which is 0. And here's the interesting thing, like no matter how accurate or inaccurate your sketch of the z-curve, your 0 has to be right in the middle. So once in a while you will get some of these interesting numbers. So this is your test statistic, and the p-value, it's just the area to the right of the test statistic. So to find the p-value, essentially we just have to compute the probability of z being greater than z0, which in this case is just 0. And without even using technology, we know the area to the right of 0 is just 1/2. So the p-value in this problem is just 1/2. Just so we don't get used to this nice values, let's just do another right tail test real quick, and then we'll do a two tail test. I'm just generating, and of course when you need a right tail test you're not going to see it, but there you go. So in this problem we have a right tail test, and we're going to just draw it out like this. We're going to label the test statistic, which is 1.9, and the p-value is just the area to the right. So it's just the probability of z being greater than 1.9. Now, if you don't use technology, you have to use the complementary rule here and then utilize maybe the z table. However, we can find this directly by simply copying this inequality into the calculator. So probability of z being greater than 1.9 is exactly 0.0287, and if we round to 3 decimal places, it's going to be 0.029. And there you go, we got it right. So let's do next the two-tailed test. There you go. In a two-tailed test procedure, it gets a little bit more interesting because without having specific numbers in front of you, it's really hard to tell whether you're going to end up computing the area to the right or to the left. So step 1, we draw the probability density curve, and then we draw the region according to the type of the test. So in a two-tailed test, we're going to have 2 regions. So we're going to draw 2 regions like this. And now we're going to label one of those boundaries with the test statistic. So because z0 is equal to 3, 3 is on the right side, so we're going to label this region as our test statistic, or the boundary of this region with the test statistic. So by symmetry, we know that this boundary will be equal to -3. But again, the way we're going to find it, it doesn't matter, because the total area of both of these regions is going to be P. Therefore, each of these regions by themselves is equal to half of P. So if you're looking for P, we're going to find it in 2 steps. We're going to find the probability of Z being greater than 3, and that's going to give us our half of P. And to find P value, we're just going to multiply that probability by 2. So I'm going to open the Z calculator, find the probability of Z being greater than 3, and I'm going to take this number and I'm going to multiply it by 2. And this is our p-value. And let's submit. All right, so let's now try a couple more problems, and I'm not going to write out all the details. I'm just going to walk you through the thought process as I'm computing it in StatCrunch. This is a two-tailed test, and in a two-tailed test, we, well, actually for this one, I may have to draw something out. This is a two-tailed test, so we're going to draw a similar diagram, and now the -2.5 is actually on the left. So by symmetry, we do know that this value will be equal to 2.5, but it's irrelevant because we're going to find the p-value by first computing the probability of z being less than -2.5. That's going to give us half of the p, and after multiplying it by 2, we'll get the entire p-value. So in StatCrunch, I'm just going to make this inequality less than, put -2.5 right over here, find it, and then I'm going to multiply it by 2. And this is my p-value. All right, let's do left-tailed test. In the left-tailed test, we simply have to find the area to the left of the test statistic. That's it. It's that easy. So this is the area to the left of the test statistic. And in the right tail, we have to find the area to the right of the test statistic. So we switch the inequality to greater than, and then we put 0.2 over here, and this is the area to the right of the test statistic. And let's do one more two-tailed test, because that's usually the most confusing one. It's very easy to find the p-value in the left-tailed test as the area to the left of the test statistic, and in the right-tailed test as the area to the right of the test statistic. Let's do one more two-tailed test. We can see that we have 1.3 is in the right side of the spectrum, and therefore by finding the area to the right of it, we're only finding half of P. So if you want to find the full P, you have to multiply this by 2. So the full P value is 0.194. And that's how we find the P value by hand. If you have any questions, please let me know.